Thank you for tuning into the Disclosures with Peter the Insider and Jessica Arael Marrocco. Peter is the director of the 12th Division of the ACIO, Advanced or Alien Contact Intelligence Organization. Jessica is a galactic liaison and interdimensional seer. Together, they will discuss the most current updates from the ACIO, Council of Five, and other extraterrestrial sources. Make sure to post your questions and comments below. Disclosures, insider intel that keeps you updated with planetary changes.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us on Disclosures. We have Peter the Insider with us today, and I guess we have a very important update that Peter wants to talk about. I didn't want to wait any longer. I wanted to make sure the information got out, and it's impending war related to the situation that's going on right now in between Russia and the Ukraine. And so how it will affect everyone. So without further delay, Peter, why don't you get started?
Yes, so this is the stuff I don't want usually involved, or I don't want to be involved in political whatever situation is, but we need to be right now because this is not like someone is talking about certain things or whatever. This is literally set up, like big times, like set up, you know, and of course set up by, try to guess who, by Shadow Group. So let's, you know what, let's do it, Jessica. From your point of view, start to talk about things. Okay, let's make some sort of introduction. Who the Shadow Group is, or not, don't call it introduction. Let's say recapitulation. I don't know how can I call it, to be perfectly honest. I don't know how can I call it properly. But whatever. Just do it, okay?
Well, essentially, what we're looking at is that the Shadow Group, whom we've been talking about for the past month or so, if not longer, maybe a month and a half, are a group of individuals that were, you know, very, very advanced soldiers, extremely good at what they do, and then have all collaborated and created a new force.
Sorry for interrupting you. Not soldiers only, because they're serving in intelligence agencies too. Just by the way.
Absolutely.
And the intelligence agencies and services too. This is very important, okay? So not soldiers only.
Right, and we saw that with Lynch, who was then very involved with, I think it was it the FBI or CIA? I think it was CIA.
CIA/MIA or whatever. This is crazy. Nobody knows even his real name. We are not so sure. What we in ACIO was able to duck once we were digging very deep was Martin Berg, but we are not 100% sure.
Well, because once you get to that advanced level, they pretty much wipe the slate clean of your identity, so that they create multiple identities, so that when you're traveling in any type of activity, anything that relates to money exchange and so forth, is all tracked back to that.
Yes, it's pretty much the same stuff as with Peter Toth from Slovakia, and nobody would know who Peter Toth is. I mean, once we are talking about the place, I mean the city when he is originally from, it's like it doesn't make any sense. And look at that, you know, in US there are living what, like 330 millions people. In Russia it's like 100. I'm not only because I'm talking like West versus East, but it's 100 only, quotes in quotes, 150 millions people, but it's a huge country. So it will be not that big problem. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Just to simply to disappear. But Slovakia is small country in the first place, and we are only what, like 5.5 millions of inhabitants, and it's like, okay, who the heck is this guy? Who the heck is this guy? It's like people know about him because of those whatever, like events and incidents and coincidences, whatever. But before that, here and there, he was journalist, but everything is so crazy in such a small country as my country is. So this is another positive confirmation that we are dealing with some, let's say, high class people. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, and we've said this multiple times. If people want to understand who this shadow group is, you can watch this movie A-Team, and you'll see that Lynch shows up, and then they keep on trying to catch him. They can't catch him. It's almost like he's a ghost.
Yeah.
And so he shows up, and then someone else shows up and says that he's Lynch, and he doesn't look anything like him. So, and they can change their appearance, not through some kind of ET technology, but some just advanced medical stuff that they do now, right? That they can change.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
They are doing such a crazy level of shapeshifting, aka as you said, like changing of appearance. Even we in ACIO are like, what in the world? Like this is next level craziness. Because once, for example, okay, once you are shapeshifted multiple times, like back and forth, like you are, for example, let us explain. You've got, I mean, all of you, our audience, once we are dealing with some ET species, they of course definitely doesn't look like humans, right? And they go to human form, back and forth. And for example, if you have, I don't know, like okay, best example I can just out of nowhere, it came to my mind. You've got face protection on your smartphone, right?
Mm-hmm.
After certain amount of changing, like back and forth shapeshifting to human body, right? Your smartphone stop to to recognize your face, right? Because let's say the shape of your skull, the distances between your eyes, nose, mouth, you know, everything will be that different that there are limited amount of cycles, like shifting back and forth, and then you need to clean your, let's say, saved, quotes in quotes, saved face. You need to clean slate like nothing happened, and you need to make it another. Do you know what I mean? Another, let's say, example. It's like, for example, okay, I've got this fingerprint. Okay, fine. I will load another. I'm just saying, do you know what I'm trying to say? So that's the stuff. And this is the best way how you can what, like
hide, disguise?
See how you can see that, ah, okay, those are shapeshifters. Because, for example, even if you have surveillance cameras and you are looking for someone via surveillance cameras, it's like, what in the world? This isn't the guy, or this is not this woman. I'm just saying, like, yes, they look similar, but they are not the same. And this is it. They will be, or they are. But after certain amount of shape-shifting, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, it will stop to be like that. I'm just saying, okay? So, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you see this often with like Men in Black or
Yeah. This is it.
Changing. Even like they've had surveillance like that, and you know, it just ends up yeah. And mirrors do something strange, right? Mirrors and cameras.
This is, yes, definitely it's like the most seeable. It will be via mirrors, definitely. Or even if you will not, if you, like, how can I say, bare eye, like naked eye, you will not be, let's say, it will not be that easy to see. I don't know. I am, because you are sharing your screen, Jessica, and I will be like, okay, if you will be sitting, pardon me, just like, you know, beside me, it will be not that easy for me to see it with my naked eyes. But via camera, it will be much easier to see the change. Like, what in the world is that crap about? This is next level crap.
So is it getting to be more common that surveillance cameras and maybe satellite, they're picking up more of shape shifting than they have in the past?
Pardon me again. The stuff is, we've got, and this is all. I was always about to say all over the place, all over the globe, all over the world. In the last, like, 1 week, maybe 10 days, lines. I don't want to say phone, but I don't want, no. I'm calling it emails, but our private servers, I don't want to say servers, but do you know what I mean? The systems got crazy. And I was like, what in the world is that stuff about? Let's say mismatching people. That means, like, okay, what in the world those shapeshifters want here? So that means somebody is preparing something. So okay. It is like they are up to do whatever they want, but they are up, whatever they want to do, they are up to do something, and it will hit us like a truck, like a, I don't know, like a train, like a tornado, or I don't know, like hurricane, that like punches. And this is not west versus east, east versus west. No, it will be something like Independence Day-ish, like this kind of scale. You know what I'm trying to say. And do you know what? I am not panicking. Just that easy. I am soldier. But to be honest, not only we in ACIO, but I am on alert, to be perfectly honest. Because of that, I am on alert. So this is uncomfortable. This is uncomfortable. This is bad.
So the activity has ramped up.
Yeah.
There's more unidentified individuals, whatever they are, moving around, going in secure locations. Or is that where you're finding them? Like areas of governments and
that's the problem. Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's where I would assume that they would be in. And it's not just about like, bank robbers, but
Oh,
more.
no. I am talking about military bases. And this is like that kind of secret bases. Even, I mean, let's say satellites know, but nobody is talking about them. I don't know, like American satellites know about Russian bases. No, they are silent. Russian satellites know about American pardon me, about the American bases. No, it's like quotes in quotes fine. I don't want to say fine, but it's like, okay, we know about each other. No, don't touch, don't do anything stupid. Do you know what I mean? Don't open Pandora's box, because who the hell know what will happen. And this is the stuff. They look like big people, but let's say they are some signs, okay, that we know that yes, it's quotes in quotes maybe looks like human body, but they are not humans, and that's the problem. And I mean like big time, okay? That's the stuff. Yeah. And this is what,
All right,
like
so they're not humans.
10 days or something. Yeah, something like that.
So are you implying that we have some form of invasion from like a bleed through or some other?
It is bleed truth based invasion. Yeah.
Is it from like a parallel?
I don't want to say which kind of which type of invasion. I mean, sorry, which type of bleed truth it is, because even we are not sure in ACIO what the heck is going on. It's like, no, I don't. But I it's way too edgy to say and way too touchy to say.
So I'm bringing in Fringe because in Fringe, they have a scenario where there's a parallel or another reality that actually they were tampering with technology and opening up portals, but going into other spaces. But just as well as I do, when you go into another space, that means something else is coming through into our space.
Yes, it's pretty much like never ever, as I said, never ever open the Pandora's box. It's pretty much like once you are dealing with astral stuff, never ever touch, even think to touch Ouija board or pendulum. Do you know what I mean? Because it is not like you will open the portal or portals, not portal, multiple portals, and you never know what will happen. You never know what will happen. Never.
So what they talked about in the show, this show is extremely revealing, very, very revealing.
And it's old. Look at that. It was aired.
Yeah.
2K8, 2K13. It's old. I don't want to say old like old, but do you know what I mean? It's not that kind of new. So they were talking about it. Respectively, they were showing things they are happening right now, or maybe like 1-2 years ago, or whatever, 3 at the most.
Yeah, and they also have a Men in Black that shows up.
Yes.
They call him the Observer.
Yes.
And they are dealing with this man right here by the name of Walter. He's like a very, very advanced scientist, and he was involved with what sounded like my labs and experimentation on humanity. But he also is but he's almost like naive at the same time, like he's
yes. But give me a second. It was that once, I mean, during Cold War, it went that
it was
let's call it that edgy, that since certain point he started to be afraid of himself, and he asked for total recall of memories. Like it or not, that was how it was.
Right, and then when he had some kind of arrangement with the Men in Black that if he had to fix something, then he needed to obey what they were telling him to do, which he did. And then there was the concern about his son dying and, looking at that in the cemetery. But anyhow, so he was involved with a lot of different types of projects and has an awareness of the multiverse and how it operates. And also they're interacting with this parallel reality from this corporation that is using humanity as an experiment.
Yes, but for most outer space, outer Earth, so outer space corporations, for most of them we are just some, let's say, petri dish. Like the Earth, the whole Gaia is petri dish, and we are guinea pigs. I mean, okay, this may sound like, no, the insider, which kind of BS's and nonsenses you are telling to us, but okay, look at that. There are only two ways how to make revelations, let's say getting out the truth. Either to talk through all of the things and to be straight and honest, or to say lies and nonsenses. But then how? What? How? I will just wipe out, and do you know what I'm trying to say? We can stop recording, and I don't want to do that. I will just be straight and honest.
Well,
I know that truth is, I don't want to say all times, but most times it is bad, it is painful, it is dirty, ugly, and at best to hear, and it's like, how can I call it, like some sort of burden for most of people. But I think people do deserve to know the truth. I am not doing this for any sort of, how can I say it, fame. I am not gaining money from that. I'm just doing it because I think that what I'm doing, it's the right thing to do.
And that's why I've worked with you all these years, Peter, because I feel the same way. I wasn't thinking about, really profiting and becoming a big influencer or anything like that. That has never been important to me. But what has been important is to allow people to understand and become more aware of what's happening.
Yeah.
And I don't think we have to stretch our imagination to realize that we are being experimented on at this point. And I don't think that's an exaggerated statement. And you can see all the different things that are happening right now. It is becoming more and more evident. And, we've been talking about this since 2016 or so.
Yeah, something like it will be almost 6. It will be 6 years this spring or something like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you are right.
Archives of shows where you have been talking about, the strange androids, the intervention, the betrayals of our nation, our governments, or the infiltrations into governments, and a variety of things that and we talked about the COVID, way back before it started. We were talking about some of these things that were coming through, what they were putting in it, and then later on doctors started to verify much of this information. So we have not been hiding any of this. We have been very straightforward about our knowledge, although because we're the first ones to bring up some of these things, people, some people have discounted what we've said, but you can verify everything that I'm saying through our archives of shows.
No, I know you are right. I know.
And that people listen to the old shows and hear some of the stuff that we were saying way back before a lot of the pandemic and everything broke out. We don't have all of the answers, but we do have insight. Peter has access to future events.
Yes, you are right. This is not like, hey, if you are that kind of smart ass, sorry for my language, then answer this and that and that. No, I never ever, let's say, consider me as I've got answers to everything. I've got some sort of sources, information sources, and whatever. And this is it how I am getting to let's say to my duty, because I am approaching to this, to whistleblowing, as a duty towards humanity. But there is another very important topic, because it was like 2 days ago. Once I noticed you something very important. So why the heck doesn't start this about pilots and military officers? What do you think, Jessica? Huh? Do you remember about the whole system of shortwave listening and all kind of? Try to start that, okay?
I'm not really sure what you're referring to.
No, I'm talking about the whole shortwave and why we will start
yeah.
to.
Before we go on to that, you had told me that in whatever reality that this actually played out, Fringe actually played out, and you had
It's true. It happened. It really happened. Yes.
It really happened, and you said that I was Olivia.
That's true.
And you were Peter.
That's true. There's another. There's another.
Together, actually. And we actually the show Disclosures sort of has that look about it. You know, our logo and everything, and
yes,
yeah, our graphics, trying to depict a bit about this. And you have yourself as wearing one of those hats, by the way.
Yeah, on my wedding, I've got this old school hat, like 40s, 50s kind ish. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Because I like this time period, like 50s, 60s, whatever, or maybe late 40s, I think. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So we have some history together. What plane of existence was this? Because it didn't physically play out here.
Played out, but total different reality. Which, my bad, which didn't happen or didn't occur, that we are not merging with this reality. We are merging with another reality, totally different one. Okay.
Yeah, and the whole thing takes place in my hometown of Boston, and
what a coincidence.
and what's interesting is Olivia gets abducted in Watertown, which was the next town over from where I grew up. So yeah, all of it. Harvard was 10 minutes drive away from where I lived, so the whole area looks very familiar to me. And
again, what a coincidence.
yeah. So this is like a because of its this other existence, it is sort of playing out, and it's interesting in this reality that we've joined together. All right, so let's go over to shortwave. So here is the big problem that we're looking at right now, or not the problem, but here is intel, the most recent intel of what's happening. They're using shortwave radio. Coming out of the Ukraine, coming out of Russia, or even in the U.S. About
coming out of Ukraine. Out of Ukraine, out of Russia, and out of from one way and to another way. From what I know, at least, Maybe there are another, because they are booming. Like every single, I don't know what I've got, my sources, every single hour, and this is crazy, there are 2 or 3 new frequencies they start to transmit on. It's crazy.
And what they're doing is that they're providing intel about what's actually happening in the Ukraine, right?
In yes, in Ukraine, but it's like in specific part of Ukraine, in Donbas, what is Ukraine, what is part of Ukraine, near the Ukrainian-Russian border. Yes, exactly that. Yes.
So they're using, in order to get the information out. I know that like some of the nations where they, like say the Yellow Vest movement, they had people out there trying to leak information through YouTube and or some of the social medias. In this,
Yes, but give me a second. What I know, that many transmitters are active in Germany. I mean, from like communicating, West is communicating with East in Germany, whole Benelux, that means Belgium, Netherlands, Luxembourg, and what I know from France, right? From France, and of course whole Scandinavia, of course. I mean, like, of course, but it's hard to it's, sorry, this need to be edited. It's very important to mention, like, or let's say, last but not least, Scandinavia. But if you will be so kind, go back to the Wikipedia Shortwave page, so its previous page, and I will say very important stuff. Okay, if you will roll down just a little bit more down, yeah, and stop here. So we can see the chart with frequencies, right? So those operators, that means ham operators, radio amateur operators, they are, I don't want to say they are not, all of them are licensed, but the stuff is they are using frequencies out. That means not between the normal, because those you can see the meter bands, it's like international broadcast bands, right? And they are using something in between that, and it is booming. It is pretty much like Cold War. It's like, nah, it's like piece of cake. It is like, for example, like Cold War is ant, and this situation, or was ant, and this situation is like elephant. It's total crazy what is happening right now. And I will say you why. Because there are, of course, it's normal. I don't want to say it's normal, but let's say it's natural that there are jammers. Jammers, that means some sort of system what is blocking the signal. It's fine, I don't want to say fine, but for the people, their interest, the jammer is working for their interests. It's like, yeah, fine, I am jamming, aka blocking certain frequency, but there is no jammer what can block the whole shortwave, aka from 1.6 to 30 megahertz. No, there is nothing like that, okay? Nothing. Period.
No, it starts at the frequency range is 2.3 here.
Give me a second. Yes, but we are talking, this chart is showing only international meter band, okay?
Yeah.
But normally all over, if we are talking about the whole, right? It's like 1.6 to 30 megahertz to 30 megahertz, right? That's the stuff. And this is the very big advantage for the people, that once you have jammer, even I don't know how powerful it is, that you can't block frequency with one jammer, or even I don't know how many jammers you will start, you cannot block the frequency. Do you know what I mean? All frequencies. And why we are okay, sorry, this is one important stuff. And another important stuff, can we go to software defined radio? Yeah, no, yes. So this is very good stuff, SDR, software defined radio. So pretty much what do you need? Of course, desktop computer, either desktop computer or laptop, or I don't know, like tablet. Then software, and of course I'm calling it box source, some sort of like set-top box or whatever. So additional stuff, what do you just put into your USB port. And why is it so good to have SDR? Because in normal, once you are using normal radio, whatever type of radio, you can hear only one frequency. Once you are a ham radio operator and you've got license and you are ready to pay a lot of money, I'm talking about like 4 or 5 grand, 4 or 5,000, and pretty much, I don't know, like 8, 10, maybe 12,000 euros or even more dollars. You've got 2 tuners in one machine. But once you've got SDR, you can scan all the frequencies from 1.6 to 30 megahertz, and you will see immediately once there will be any sort of broadcast. That's very, very big advantage of that. I'm just saying, do you know what I'm trying to say? So we can.
So you have more options and a greater range with the.
Of course.
I think is it the FCC or that blocks or limits on the ham radios what frequencies that you can use?
No. Once again, you will set it up, as I said, like shortwave, and of course, down the lowest frequency is 1.6, the highest frequency 30 megahertz period, and you will be able to. Yep, you can see it. And
here's another one.
Yeah.
So you see the waveform, and so there's we're talking specifically of shortwave.
Give me a second. Yes, because pretty much FM has good sound quality. What is problem? It's FM. That means frequency modulation.
Mm-hmm.
AKA, you need to have really tall transmitter. Without tall transmitter, either no signal or low quality signal. AM, that means it's what? Good a good FM, it's what, like 100, 120 miles. So I don't know, usual in normal casual conditions, that means 150, 60, or maybe 180 or 200 kilometers. AM slash AM, my bad, long wave slash medium wave, pretty much the same stuff, but 8 or 10 times like more. Do you know what I'm trying to say? 8 or 10 times more range, because the stuff is the amplitude is different. That means signal is fading in and out, in and out, in and out. It's pretty simple. So what is the difference? What is the difference between this, and what is the biggest advantage of shortwave? It's easy, because they are reflections of ionosphere, right? It's easy. It's like in between, what, like 600 and 800 kilometers.
But it has a bouncing effect, from what I recall. It can bounce and move further.
Yeah.
And signal. Yeah. Like you said, you need this, like a high tower or some sort of antenna in order to work with FM. But this has a different type of.
Yes, shortwave is total different. It's total different. So as I said, it's in between 400 and 600 miles above the ground, and you can hear, especially during night hours, you can hear pretty much all the signals, pretty much from whenever world you are. And the stuff is why we are talking about that, because, and now you can go to Hamrat. This is the first link I said. Yes. So this is the stuff. This is Tom's radio room, and look at that. Russian pilot on shortwave. And that's it. Do you know what? Let you talk through that.
Yeah, I can play a little bit of it. I think it shouldn't be a problem. I'm sure that they wouldn't mind that we're sharing their link and driving people to their site. So
using HF because they're a long ways from their base, or their UHF, VHF radios just won't get much distance and they need a distance call. Could be people, fishing people, marine. Could be people.
I think you started saying
pilots trying to talk to each other and trying to.
No. Let's make it. Yes.
Something that's kind of interesting, kind of unique. It's regarding utility stations. That's what they call it, utility stations on typically shortwave. And that is stations that are not international broadcast stations. So they're like pilots trying to talk to each other and trying to call in using HF because they're a long ways from their base, or their UHF, VHF radios just won't get much distance and they need a distance call. Could be people, fishing people, marine. Could be people broadcasting, pirates. Could be that's the thing. It's all kinds of things, and just you can hear a lot of things between the international broadcast bands. And this is a group, a users group. It's a Google I/O users group called UDXF, and I've signed up for that. And I've signed up for a lot of groups, maybe a dozen of these groups like this on various subjects. That's why I get like 800 emails a day, because you can sign up and say, okay, send me the emails of things are posted, or you can say, send me an email with the postings once a day. This one right here. RUAF, Russian Air Force, pilot on 6.685 megahertz. So let's click on that. And then there's 3 messages related to this one, responses in the original post. But here, I think this one is the original post, and he says at 6685 kilohertz, RU Air Force aircraft, AC, calling Kozar, Moscow headquarters. But no joy. That means she didn't get any reception. And here's actually a recording of it. Let me see if it'll play. Well, it's weak. Okay, that's good enough. And so this gentleman apparently knows what that is. If I heard that, I wouldn't recognize it, but he recognized it as a Russian pilot. That's too cool. And he didn't give any details of what he used to receive this as far as radio and antenna, but I'm sure this is one of the persons that posts a lot, and he's probably got posted where he actually tells you what radios he's using, where he's located. Might even be located over there near Russia. So maybe this plane was flying overhead. It could be. But I thought I'd just let you know about this group. Let me see if I click on here to show the group. Yeah, there it is. And I've showed it to you once before. UDXF, this is the group. Utility DXers forum. And you can join this forum.
So
please let this finish. This video is very important. Look at that. What it will be.
All right.
And you can see this is the number of messages per month. There's lots of messages. So these guys are active. Pretty cool. Check it out. This is again a Google I/O group. And if I go up here, I'll show you my groups. These are the groups I joined. You're familiar with SDR Play and Ultralight. It's another group. And this is the other SDR radio group. Another SDR. Lots of groups. Take a look at this and have a great day. Bye-bye.
So this is it. I am not saying nonsenses. It's like it's official. It's on YouTube. They didn't, let's say, knock down this video. I mean, YouTube, they didn't do it. And they are publicly showing the frequencies, whatever. If you have right rig, I mean, like right equipment, aka my bad, right radio, right conversion system, right antenna, you can hear. And there is a lot of stuff like that out there on YouTube. And once again, this guy Thomas was talking. You was able to hear that about soft SDR, software defined radios, right?
Yep.
Pretty much one of the group was software defined radio group. And more important, the stuff is that there are Google groups dealing with all of those. It is not like it is interesting. It is not like it is hobby, whatever. It is passion. It is very important right now in those times, because literally, okay, literally, we are making history right now. I'm just saying, okay?
So the information is leaking through shortwave radio. It's intel of what is actually happening in the Ukraine. So that's the next part, Peter. Maybe you can tell us. So the information that the ACIO has been gathering, because what they've removed a lot of the embassies.
Yes.
They don't want anyone to actually see what's happening. And
No.
here,
yes, I mean, sorry. Yes, you are right. No, they don't want. And for example, because what is the main benefit? And I don't want to humiliate Ukraine or whatever, but every country has some sort of benefit, right? And the most beneficial thing for Ukrainians is one simple fact: location. They are transport or transit country for, let's say, oil pumps, gas pumps, you know. They have a special railway, especially China. They want to buy special high-speed railway through the Ukraine. For, just by the way, yes, I am proud, I will say it, for Slovakian and Czech made cars. I mean cars, what they are built in Slovak and Czech Republic, because our cars, both from both countries, are rewarded and well known for their good quality. Despite we are living it we know, all of us, we know, like the things are not made for long lasting, for long last, but for, you know, like, no, it will go to crap, you will smash it to the trash. No, not our cars, not cars from Slovak and Czech Republic. And people from China, they want to really to build this, and now they stopped, right?
mm-hmm.
Every single flying companies, they completely stop flyovers over the Ukraine. So this is serious. This is not like someone is saying nonsenses or speculations. No, this is for real, okay? And they are losing millions of dollars per day. They are talking about in between, which kind of day we are talking about, because especially large capacity cargo airplanes, they are paying the most. They are paying the most. So in between 2025 and 80 to 100 million dollars per day, Ukrainians are losing that, because no civilian, either passenger, no matter, either passenger or just cargo transport, like do you know what I'm trying to say? Pretty much no air traffic. Either as I said, either this, I mean passenger or cargo, no flying companies, they don't want to fly over the Ukraine. And this is another problem. Now you are showing us like west versus east, east versus west, and this is the problem, that people are seeing this at this at something like political. No, once again, it is not political. It is, as you said, lynch, aka uh,
The shadow
lynch.
group. Yeah.
Yes. So pretty much the people they started shadow group. Yes. Lynch, aka Martin Burke, and Roman Barkov, they betrayed their own countries and they started their own business. It's, I'm just saying it's.
But it's one of those scenarios where the Russians think this one thing's happening, and then the Americans think that the Russians are doing something to them, and it has nothing to do with it. It has, and the actual problem is coming from the shadow group.
Yes,
which is going, they're
exactly.
trying to trigger a total war, as you call it, or a World War III.
Yes, the total war. It's common, how we can say it, common term for World War III. Yeah.
Which means that if this happens, it's devastating to the earth.
Yeah.
Right.
Definitely, you are right. Yes.
And this is the primary reason they're discovering that not the information that are if I say propaganda or misleading.
Definitely, it is like how it is propaganda. Yeah.
These articles that I had earlier, let's see, I had a bunch of news articles. So I could just look it up again. So it's Ukraine.
This is it. Sorry for that. I'm just saying that Lynch's cover is that kind of crazy-ish cover that he got multiple, like John Lynch, Peter Lynch, I don't know, like what is his Trevor Lynch, but mostly he's using John Lynch. I'm just saying.
But this is a lot of this is propaganda that is trying to lead up to a total war.
Yes, you are.
Media, as usual, is behind.
Yes, but look at that. What they are doing. Lynch is doing it for US and Barkov to US and Barkov to Ukraine. This is next level, and I will not watch my language, next level shit, because they are faking photos from satellites, aka they are getting like, hey, look at that, what happened, like there is tension in Donbass and you need to do this, you need to do that. And then in Kremlin, in Moscow, what the heck is going on? We never we didn't gave that order to move army. There are no troops there. And then Barkov's people say, no, there are troops and whatever. Do you know what I'm trying to say? This is crazy. This is like mass propaganda. I don't know. I even don't know what the heck should I think about it.
Right, and it's because of the shortwave radio that we're actually finding out what's going on.
No, give me a second. Thanks to shortwave radio, not because once you will use the word because or term because, it means it will be like they are guilty, but no, let's say thanks to shortwave radio we know actual situation. Actual, that means real situation, not fake news or whatever. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, because doesn't always mean that, as you said, but yeah, it's all right. I think the focus here is that they are, it's propaganda again. They're playing world power against another world power in order for their ultimate goal of making money or or trying to bring everyone to their knees, making the world submissive to their desires.
Yes,
And
but sorry, but I will say you why. Because look at that. What? Murkov, what was his main focus? Children. Because look at that, okay? How many children will lose their parents? And it will be that easy for them. No, parents. I don't know how many dozens, maybe hundreds of thousands orphans, and this is it. Those orphans will, nobody will miss the orphans, and go to us. Hey, let's say they are making like big hug. Do you know what I'm trying to say to those orphans? And that will be it. Do you know what I'm trying to say? That will be it.
well,
Because they need orphans to make experiment on. They need POW, that means prisons of war, to make experiments on. This is exactly same in setup. Okay, you need maybe peep it, but I will not watch my language. This is same fucking setup as during Second World War. POV, prisons of war, whatever, experiments, whatever, and they will do it. And I am not saying Russia slash East is bad or US slash West is bad. This is their stuff, shadow group stuff. The Lynch, John Lynch, aka Martin Berg, betray US. Roman Barkov, we even don't know his real identity. We only know Roman Barkov. There is who? There is Eli Rizaf. There is Darem Al Basri. There is of course Peter Toth. All of them, they betrayed their countries, the land, their motherlands. Okay. And they are only hungry for money, for power, because of greed, because of I don't know what. They are twist-minded, wicked-minded, and I will say it how it is, bastards. Like it or not, I will not watch my language because I am pissed off. Because not dozens, hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of people, innocent people, will be suffering, sorrow, pain, whatever. I saw those situations multiple times in the front or on the battlefield, and it's once again I will not watch my languages, and it is fucking crazy because of bullshit. What is not happening? It is not happening.
Yeah, they're fabricating a scenario or exaggerating it in order to bring on a greater problem, and where then they can turn everyone this huge world into a my lab.
Exactly.
Well,
Yes.
this is called on the mud floods were different points in time where they actually created a devastating event, and then before you know it, you have a lot of orphans that were then reconditioned, programmed, and also experimented on, and that has been perpetuating on and on.
Yes, but I spoke. Yes, but I spoke with Peter Toth, and he told me, and it was crazy, that they were in Middle East, like Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, and whatever those countries, and they were those ancient giants. And I want to not ask you, but I am not expert in this field. I saw them, I dealt with them multiple times, and it's kind of crazy what they are capable of. So, long story short, he told us I mean, because it wasn't just me and him, of course. I am not up to making, or I wasn't up to commit suicide, right? But it was like few people of ours from ACIO and his people, of course. And he was like, he was describing few, let's say, experiences with ancient giants. I know that he's tough and very experienced soldier and high-ranked officer within information services and agencies, and he was not acting that. He was scared. And my question is, why those ancient giants scared people from Shadow Group? What happened, or what could happen? That's my question.
Unless there's an intervention, I think that the ancient giants or the Nephilim, which are half angel, half human, they are in rebellion, and so they need another group to come in and to give them an ultimatum or tell them that they need to stop. And that would be probably from the angelic realm to harness and to control a bit of what they're doing, because their abilities are volatile. And we talked about feral or primal behaviors, and essentially that's what you're looking at. It's the emotions of humanity mixed with the abilities of angels, and then being angry and not having control over your anger. It's like becoming a fire starter or someone who creates cycle.
So let's say you are lighting the matches in the top of the barrel full of what, like gasoline, am I right?
Yeah, it's unbridled. It's there's no self-control. They're not used to living in any type of control system. Typically they're free. And then there is that the thinking of humanity or humans is different than the way that angels think. Angels understand the broader spectrum of the galactic laws and guidelines and whatever, but they have the abilities so that they don't always abuse the abilities. Maybe the ones that are fallen, meddle with things, but the true angels know that you're not supposed to do certain things, and they're not tempted to do it. They just feel like it's, we understand this. It's almost like if you jump out in the highway, you're going to get hit. We understand that.
Oh, okay, definitely.
So it's the same thing, but when you have a combination of, all right, it's a human, and suddenly they have superhuman abilities, they don't understand the laws, and so they're bound to get into a problem. And so that's essentially the Nephilim. The Nephilim are, kind of, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, but not recognizing that their abilities, they can do a lot more damage than they realize, and used to. I mean, because they're old too, and they were in like a stasis or a sleep state for a long period of time. So the earth was much different then. They had more space to roam around. They're not used to being given any borders or parameters. So this is going to trigger that primal emotion in them to cause them.
Not good.
And they don't need to be physically there. They can do it telepathically. I mean, I'm not sure exactly what the extent of their abilities are, but they could do damage on the other part of the world very easily.
Okay. I mean, not okay, but I mean, like, I see. Okay.
Yeah, that's why when I see them tied up like that, I'm like, I'm not sure if that's really a good idea. They should not be tortured. They should not be mistreated, because I'm pretty sure that would add to our problems here. So they have to be extracted in a way from the galactics, with the assistance of the galactics, to be brought to a place where they can further understand what's going on within them and what they can't, and limited in some of their abilities. but that's kind of like a communication coordination of outside of our context of existence to ask for an intervention and some help. That's my opinion.
Okay, so I think that since this we pretty much cover all the topics. What do you think, huh?
Yeah, so essentially we need people to ask, focus on, use your prayers or intentions that this information becomes more to the forefront, that we do not engage in a total war or World War III. And but the good news is that people are leaking information, because I know that there's a lot of controls in different nations, especially when there's activity going on. The government doesn't want the information leaked out. So the shortwave radio actually was very helpful, and I think that that's what is making the difference for us right now, is that you know, the ACIO is catching this information.
Yes, because once again, nobody wants war. Not only like Russians don't want war. It's like neither, like West or East. Nobody wants war. Nobody.
Right. So that's about it. And also, I mean, I guess if people wanted to get into shortwave radio, you know, obviously we had some information on that, and probably there are other ways for them to listen to some of the messages that are going on out there. As you can see, it's not the best quality, but if people have no other options, they're going to use this. And some nations are pretty locked down. So or people are, you know, want to minimize their risk, you know, because they're more valuable alive than they are dead. So if they put out one piece of intel and then they die, then, you know, they're not capable of putting out more. So, you know, they're trying to be smart about it and to reveal the information. And unfortunately, our governments seem to be naive while all of these things are going on around them. And similar to, if you watch the show Fringe, you'll see that, you know, there was the Fringe group, which was the investigators, and they're the ones that are dealing with some very strange, odd things that the government has no awareness of. And
yes, and let's say in the very end of the show that we will also add links in the description where to buy high quality shortwave radios. Most of them made by Texan, right? And Texan, yeah. And Texan, let's say it's H501X. Yep, H501X. H501X. Yeah, this is very good one. You know, it's not cheap, but pretty much once you've got one, and you need to be sure you've got X version, right? It's like export version. You can hear pretty much everything from all around the world, and the sound quality is really good. Like, it can be compared to old school Grundig radios from 60s or 70s. I've got one myself, and it's really good. Really good.
And you could speak into these as well. You can send messages.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
There's you need a microphone or some added.
Yes, it's either. I mean, the built-in microphone, it isn't that good, but it doesn't make any problem to buy one, and it's pretty much fine. It's pretty much fine. You are pretty much done.
It's only like $300 or so.
Yes. And yes, you can, and people will see the specifications of this radio. So I think we can add this link to this radio here.
Okay. Yep.
Or any other goods from Texan. It's very good. I'm just saying.
Okay, great. Thank you, Peter. Any last thoughts before we?
No, I think we covered our topics good today. And once again, thank you very much for another opportunity to be here on the channel. And till next time. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye, Peter. And thank you to all of our listeners for your time and support and patience with me getting back to you in some of your messages. I will work my way through that. Thank you so much. We appreciate your time, and also we want to keep you as informed as possible. We appreciate your support, both listening and sharing our content, as well as any type of financial support. We appreciate it. Thank you very much, and have a great day.
You have been listening to the Disclosures with Peter the Insider and Jessica Marrocco. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Visit www.acio-agency.org and www.readingsbyarael.com. Post your questions and comments below. We look forward to hearing from you. Feel free to support our work. All links can be found in the description. Thank you.